So before we power up the computer and making to see if it works, it's a good idea to check for shorts. And what we do that is we take on our multimeter. I have this K-Wheats one, which is auto sensing, so don't have to worry about changing settings. So this is a ground plane here, and the first thing I want to test is to see on the voltage 5-volt regulator there's no short. So on the right hand side is the +5, middle is ground, and then this one is the input, and there's no short there. Great. So it looks like that's good so far. Now the next thing I want to check is to make sure there's no shorts on the RAM. So what we're going to check first is on the pin at the bottom right, closest to you or closest to me here. That's the 5 volts, 1 kilo ohm. The next is the +12, and this pin is across on the other side of the chip. And the very top of the IC is the -5, and that looks like 27 kilo ohms. So it looks like we're good. I think it's safe to power up, and let's see what we get. So I don't have a television present here, so I can plug in to the TV here. So what I'm going to do is a mod. I'm going to take, it's called a composite mod, but what I'm doing before I even do that, I'm going to connect the ground to the case, and on the second pin, this is the plus. Well, let's make that better so you can see. This is the +5 volts, and this is the video signal. So you want to connect to that. So what we're going to do is take our second lead and connect to there. Alright, so we have that set up like that. And on our cable, what I've done is the ground, which is represented by the green wire here, it connects to the outside of the RCA jack, and the yellow is connected to the center pin on the RCA jack. So let's hook this up and switch cameras here so we can see our television and our monitor. And this is going through my RetroTink, and it's going into my HDMI monitor. So let's see if we get any picture. Oh, and we get picture, yes. So far the computer looks like it's working. We're getting the 1982 Sinclair Research Limited, but the screen is off. So it looks like I'm going to have to adjust some potentiometers. So let's take a closer look at that. So to adjust the video, there's several variable resistors here that we can adjust, and so I'm going to start with the bottom one here and work my way up. Now we can also use the oscilloscope to monitor the output to get it clear, but let's first try this. So I'm going to again switch to the other camera angle so we can see the screen and see if it's getting better or worse. Alright, let me try this on now. Let's try adjusting this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch monitor. I have another monitor which can do PAL without going to the RetroTink. So let's hook that up and see if we can adjust this controls. Okay, now we have this. It looks clear, it's not as bad. So let's try making some adjustments with this one here. Well, it looks very clear. The text, I'm not sure if it's showing up nicely, although it is a blue tinge to it. I'm wondering if I should just be making the composite mod first, and then changing the capacitors to increase the quality of the video. Also, I've been told there are 2 transistors that should be replaced closest to the RF modulator, and I believe it's TR12. The transistors TR1 and 2 by the RF modulator here. Let me see if I can give you a better view of that. So these 2 transistors here, there's one here and one there beside the capacitor. We can change those two to get a better quality video. So let's plug in the keyboard now and see if the keyboard is working, now that we know that the computer is working. This keyboard with the functions on the actual functions on the keyboard is actually quite neat. It makes it for a little easier for writing programs. Sorry, the camera angle is a little off here, but that's fine. We just want to make sure this is working. I just press R for run, and it's working. So we have we have some evidence now that it is working. So for the composite mod, basically we are removing both. Let's see, better view. Basically we are removing this pin here and the 5-volt pin, and we're going to bend them up and over the case and inside, so that in the future, if you ever wanted to reconnect this, we can do that. So let's desolder these pins and pull them out. So I'm take some solder wick. You can use your pump or what. Actually, you know what? Let's try the manual soldering pump. All right, it cleared up the holes pretty good. Let's see if I can pull the wires through, and then we'll move on to the next step. Just to make sure they're not touching anything. I don't think I'll be going back to an RF modulator anytime soon. Okay, so these are now cut. So basically we add the capacitor. Now the capacitor, we are putting the positive end in the board and the negative end into the can itself. So what I'm going to do is bend up the leads here. So what we're going to do is bend up the negative lead. Like so. And I should need pliers. Let me just bend it like that. And then that will sit in like that. Okay, so what I've done is I've put one leg down and one I've bent up and through the third hole located at the end here, and then I'm going to desolder. There is a resistor in here. We're going to desolder the resistor and solder on this lead lead to the center of the RCA jack. So let's tack down this side first. Okay, so that side's done. We can snip this side off. Nice and clean. Alright, now the next thing is to desolder this resistor here. So I've desoldered the resistor. Now I'm going to bend up the lead that I've just put through for the capacitor, and then we can solder that on. Okay, it's bent up, and let's solder here. All right. So that's basically it. Now we have a composite mod. Let us plug it in with the standard configuration, which is just plug in the cable jack directly into the RF modulator, and we'll switch cameras. Okay, and plug in the power for the adapter. Okay, the adapter's powered up, and now let's plug in our power supply, and there we go. Look at the picture. Actually, this cleared up the picture quite well. That bluish tinge has gone away, and it's more of the proper grayish white background. So that capacitor actually really cleaned it up. Also, the fact that using jumper wires on things, I mean, it's not a perfect connection, but for testing this is fine. Excellent. So the composite mod is now done.